All right, welcome everybody. It's great to see so many people, so many smiling faces in here this evening. We'd like to reconvene the Thursday, March 24th, 2022 Roanoke County School Board meeting. We were in closed session. Mr. Ray, would you read us out of closed, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I move that the Roanoke County School Board come out of closed session for the following: to discuss ongoing personnel matters under investigation pursuant to the personnel exemption at 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia, and to discuss the investigation of a student matter pursuant to the Scholastic Record exemption at 2.2-3711A2 of the Code of Virginia, and for consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members pertaining to actual or probable litigation, and consultation with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel pursuant to 2.2-3711A7 of the Code of Virginia. And also I certify that to the best of the knowledge of all each member, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meetings requirements under this chapter, and only such business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed session meeting was convened were heard, discussed, and considered in the meeting by the school board.
Second. Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Item number 2.03, action from closed session.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to allow students 2021-2022 numbers 25 through 31 to be approved for religious exemption from Roanoke County Schools.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Additional action from closed session. I move that the school board uphold the superintendent's decision in student case number 2021-2022, number 1, and to authorize the chair to issue a written decision setting forth the school board's rationale within 15 days.
Second.
Madam Clerk, the roll.
Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Chairman, let me just say, I'm going out after this vote. I've got an appointment with grandkids. I don't want you to think I'm just jumping ship. Thank you.
No, ma'am.
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Have fun, Tim.
Enjoy, Tim. All right, item number 3.0. We again like to welcome everybody. It is great to see so many children here, so many other smiling faces, and we've got a lot of recognitions and presentations tonight that we're looking forward to. So with that, if everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance. All right, item number 4, any 4.01, any announcement of changes to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Item number 5, 5.01, School Spotlight. Tonight we are going to welcome our friends from Oak Grove Elementary School.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members and Dr. Nicely. I'd like to introduce Dr. Clemitis, who is currently the principal at Oak Grove Elementary. She has brought staff and students with her this evening, and they would like to spotlight their school for you.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Welcome,
Ms.
Dr.
Hogan
Clemitis.
and Dr. Nicely and school board members for allowing us this time. We are Oak Grove Tigers, and we love our school, and we can't wait to share it with you. So slide 2. Going to give you, I've got the clicker. Never mind. Just kidding. So a little history about Oak Grove Elementary. It is located in Southwest County. It was built in 1958 with additions in 1964, 1968, and 2004. We have approximately 420 students, preschool through 5th grade, which includes 2 FACS classes. Our school represents 30 countries and 22 languages. Our mantra is work hard and be kind. It's Tiger time. We love to provide a safe and inclusive learning environment. We believe in educating the whole child, and we want to make it fun. We love to meet the children where they are and help them become the very best they can be. And of course, none of this is ever possible without partnering with our families and our community. Oak Grove has a long history of being an award-winning school. Recently, the past 5 years, we have won the RASAC Award, better known as Red Ribbon Week. We have an outstanding parent, Miss Hensley, who helps us with that, along with other events such as Amazing Race and this week, our science fair. We also have a long history of SOL awards. We have the Virginia School Board Continuous Improvement Award in 2019, and that was the last time test scores counted. We go back with the history of the Distinguished Achievement Award from the Board of Education. We also like getting a lot of extras for our school. We wrote a grant for a capital improvement incentive fund, and that grant combined with our PTA funding, we were able to build a new track for our school. We also reach out for additional grant writing, such as for the opera, and our teachers are excellent at finding additional resources for our school. In 1 year, they wrote 9 grants and received them. Oak Grove is all about a community involvement and also global involvement. We have a few examples here. We reach out to our veterans by writing Valentines. We do Soup for Seniors. We have a student at our school who has a heart condition, and we did a fundraiser for him just to help support his family. Our 5th graders participated in a Level Up project where they collaborated with students in Honduras and Nicaragua. They made flashlights using a 3D printer. We try to reach out, and there's a lot of people who support us and help us. The sheriff's office, who doesn't love a snow cone or a hot dog. And then we cannot say enough about Fellowship Church on Serve Our City Day, and actually throughout the year. They do so much for our school that would be a presentation in and of itself. So the presentation is going to be by grade level, and each grade level picked something that they wanted to shout out about. We have preschool. They use the Tools of the Mind curriculum. The kids love the hands-on environment, going to different centers, learning how to play with their friends, learning new vocabulary words. They play in the sensory center. And of course, who doesn't like to go outside for some fun recess? Kindergarten, you learn to read a lot more than you used to. And they like to do that through partner reading, and they like building STEM projects. There's a cute little girl with a STEM monster. And fire safety is huge because kids love fire trucks. And 100 days of school, there's something about that celebration in kindergarten, and it's just quite special. Now we have our 1st grade teacher here with some students who are going to come up and tell you what they like about school. So, Miss Atkins and students.
Hi, I'm Tanya Atkins, and these are my precious students. I teach 1st grade at Oak Grove. This is my 24th year at Oak Grove. The pictures on the PowerPoint show some of our favorite authentic hands-on learning activities that we do in 1st grade, our bargain bazaar. We hatch ducklings in the spring and STEM projects. Another picture shows a field trip to Safari Park, and we are thrilled because this class has never been on a field trip at Oak Grove, and they get to go in April to Safari Park. So this week I had my 1st grade students write a top 10 list of the reasons why they love Oak Grove. At first I was planning to share their reasons with you, but then decided to see if they would be interested in speaking at the meeting tonight. As you can see, I had quite a few volunteers. I'm very proud of them for showing up tonight and being so brave to speak to you all. Each student will share one reason why they love Oak Grove.
Hi, I'm Lawson Yates. I love the baseball field and the big track. I love that everyone shows kindness. At Oak Grove, I feel safe. I love that everyone has their own computer now. I love the books in the library. I love Mr. Joe, my bus driver.
Oh, I'm sure he loves you too.
Hi, my name is Abram. I love math and learning about money.
It's my
I
kinda
love
kid.
Oak Grove. I learn new things every day. Hi, I'm Theron Palmer. I love Mrs. K, the principal. Hi, my name is Emma. I love the awesome teachers. I feel safe at Oak Grove.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak tonight and spotlight our wonderful school.
I have pins for everybody, so if you would just give me 1 second, I'll come around and hand them out.
Sure.
Thank you, everybody.
That's some awesome writing, first grade. On to second grade. They enjoy inviting families in after they have read when the relatives came. They enjoy dressing up for school spirit days, coding with robots, building in Minecraft, and of course, some water time for Y Splash. We have our third grade teacher, Miss Smoots, and a couple of students for third grade.
Hi there, my name's Rachel Smoots. I am a third grade teacher at Oak Grove Elementary. I have been at Oak Grove for 6 years. Some of the pictures on the screen show some hands-on engaging activities that we do in third grade. Earlier this year, we had the wildlife come visit. We also used a recipe to answer some reading comprehension questions and then actually created that recipe in class. We also have done Minecraft lessons to go with our animal units in science. And then we've also created pumpkin character projects with a STEM project. I also had my kids write a few things that they loved about Oak Grove, and they are here to share a couple of the things that they wrote.
I love math because it has very hard problems you need to show your work. I love my teacher because she's so nice. One of the things I love about Oak Grove is the track. Also, I love Funny Friday in the cafeteria. My name is Micah Addo, and I like the name of the school because it fits with the inside of the school. I love the computers, and all of the teachers are awesome.
Funny Friday. That's right.
Fourth grade also loves to go on field trips, so we are so glad they are back. And they were so kind that since fifth grade didn't go last year, they've invited them on their fourth grade field trip this year. Here's a couple examples, Tubman Art Museum and then Hotel Roanoke for a fancy meal. They love their reading buddies, going down a couple grades. They love coding, and they love building with tangrams. And this year, this was a very cool event. They did Flipgrid live event with an author. Now we have fifth grade.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Nicely. My name is Corinne Rumbly, and I'm a fifth grade teacher. I have been at Oak Grove for 16 years, and today I would like to share a couple things that spotlight our fifth graders. Here you can see a picture of one of our wax museums. This is where students dress up like someone they idolize or inspire to be. Fifth grade also participates in a tea dance, where students learn formal dances like the merengue and foxtrot from professional dance instructors in the Roanoke Valley. We also enjoy daily blogging. This allows students to publish posts, and the constant peer feedback encourages them to write summaries about stories they've been reading, and it motivates them to write narratives and other persuasive writings. We also ask parents and relatives of our students to send in postcards from around the world as they travel throughout the school year around the world, and we put these in our hall in fifth grade. I would now like to introduce to you two fantastic fifth grade students to share a little bit about their favorite things through their years at Oak Grove, Bryce Phelps and Caroline Jarrard.
Hi, my name is Bryce, and I am a fifth grader at Oak Grove Elementary. I have gone to Oak Grove since kindergarten. Oak Grove has been a really great school to me. Some of my favorite memories are having field days, where one year I had the fastest time in a race. In second grade, we went on a field trip to the zoo, and I really enjoyed it. In fifth grade, one fun thing we do is blogging. There's a picture of me on a slideshow using our blog. It's really cool because we get to type up and publish writings to Mrs. Becker on an online blog. It's fun because our friends get to read and comment on our writings. I feel like I have become a better writer because of this blog. I will miss Oak Grove when I go to middle school next year. Thank you.
Great job.
Hello, my name is Caroline Jarrard. I have been at Oak Grove since preschool, and all of the teachers and staff are very nice. Some of my favorite memories here at Oak Grove are the field days, and in third grade we went to the safari park. It was fun. Also, in first grade, Miss Atkins brought her dog to school, and we got to play with him. Those are some of my favorite memories at Oak Grove, but I'm also very excited to go to the Frontier Culture Museum this year. I've had an amazing time at Oak Grove Elementary.
Very nice. Bryce, I couldn't help but notice you forgot the two COVID years, your third and fourth grade year. We want to try to forget those too.
Our facts class, they love going on community field trips, doing animal research. They try to make all the learning hands-on, and of course take lots of movement breaks. Of course, at the heart of Oak Grove is our Spirit Days, our PTA, our PBIS, which we are the Tigers and we roar. We love having friend time, reading across America. There's some pictures here of our 80s dance party. That was for our PBIS school-wide reward, and you'll see a little snippet of that in just a second. Again, our PTA, we cannot say enough about them. They are awesome. These are some pictures from our fun run, and that's a big fundraiser for our school that helps us to get all the nice extras that we love. It's all about offering kindness and having fun at Oak Grove. So here's a little quick snippet. So since we couldn't have an in-person at the beginning of the year, when this was our compliment reward, we were able to, and kids love to get on camera, so this was fun. And they just took turns going to their smart board in their classroom and showing off their dance skills, and it was one way that brought us together. So thank you for all you do for our school. We love our school, and we are so proud to be a part of Roanoke County.
We love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Clemitis. Thank you.
Her a pin too.
All right. Item number 5.02, recognition of Glenver High School 2021 2A State Cross Country Champions. Dr. Franklin. Yes, she is.
Ready? Here comes the lumber.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. We only brought a small portion of our population today. I'm gonna wait for the parents to get in. Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you this evening?
Fine, thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be here yet again to recognize more state champions at Glenver High School. We've had a really, really successful year, and I can't be any prouder of these young student athletes. They are amazing athletes. Many of them play many sports, multiple sports, and some of them tonight are actually representing multiple sports. So I'm going to turn it over to all three coaches since they do cross over quite a bit. I've got our cross-country coach, Miss Amanda Spradlin, and her assistant coach, Madison Bourne. I've got our swim coach, Mr. Shannon Hall, and I've got our indoor track coach, Mrs. Becca Loader. And I'm going to turn it over to them to sing their praises.
Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. Daniel, if you want to come over here. I just want to recognize Daniel Zierfoss, our 2021 VHSL 2A cross-country state champion. Daniel had an amazing season from start to finish. At the region meet, he was able to run his personal best, which is a 16:13, and he became a 3-time region champion, freshman, sophomore, and senior year. And then at the state meet, Daniel, he had a goal in mind. He knew, obviously he wanted to be a state champion. That's been his goal for a long time. But there were 2 other guys that he knew he had to run with, and he was able to do that. He hung with them the whole race in the last 1,000 meters. Sorry, I'm out of breath. The last I know, it's pregnancy. The last 1,000 meters, he took off and just dominated, and it was amazing to watch. And he became a state champion. So we are so proud of him and all of his accomplishments. I did want to touch base on Carly Wilkes as well. She was unable to be with us tonight, but she was also a state champion in cross country as well, a 2-time state champion, 4-time region champ this year. So we're really proud of both of them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members, for having us here tonight. It's an honor and a privilege to be here for the 3rd consecutive year with my swimmers. Over the past 2 seasons, we are the defending Class 2A state champions for girls. This year, we didn't quite make it. We finished 5th, but out of the 12 events that were contested, we actually won 3 of those. So we have Claire Griffith, who is a champion in the 50-yard freestyle for the 3rd consecutive year. She also broke her former teammate's state record to win that state championship. And Claire also won the 100-yard freestyle for the first time. She had been the runner-up for the past 2 seasons to that same former teammate. And then the 4 girls, Carly Wilkes isn't with us tonight, but the other 4 girls on the 200-yard freestyle relay team were Adriana Hall, along with Claire, Carly, and Delaney Eller. I just wanted to share one little thing with you that kind of perked my interest the other night when we were at the Roanoke Valley Sports Club meeting. We were sitting having dinner, and the topic of dinner just happened to come up. How many state champions have these girls won among all the sports that they play for their 4 years or 3 years of high school? So we started counting numbers, and we just kept counting, and we kept counting, and we kept counting, and then we counted some more. Then we finally got to a number, and it amazed me, that number, 53.
Oh my gosh.
Between 4 girls, 53 state champions. Wow. So, good job, girls.
job.
That's commitment.
Good job.
Get in there, Doug. Hi, I'm Coach Loader. This is my assistant coach, Madison Bourne. Again, we'd like to thank you guys as well, and thank you for your continuous support. On my way here, I was thinking about what I was going to say, and standing up here and looking at all these athletes, the reason why we're all up here together is because there are multiples. So some of these swimmers also ran for me for indoor. Going into this state meet, we really didn't have a thought process in the form that we were going to win this year. Appomattox kind of hit the ground running, and we knew their numbers were huge. And halfway through the meet, we were like, oh, we can do this. So it literally came down to the last event that would either let us win by 1 or take second by 1 under. So I have multiples. I had 6 total girls that went, 3 that were returning from last year as the double state champ. Again, Carly is not here with us. 2 of my seniors is Carly and Delaney. They are on the 4x4 team. Sorry, I'm nervous. I don't normally talk in front of a debate. I'm a one-on-one person. So, I mean, their accomplishments are amazing across the board. And I could name them all off. I know you guys will probably announce them as well. But as a coach, it takes every footstep that hits the track. And winning is huge, but making a state team is even bigger. So all of my girls are very rewarding of this state championship title, and that's what matters. When we got off the bus and walked in the door, I told them, when we left and that door shut, it's what you put on the track that mattered. And it mattered. And they came out as state champions back to back, and I couldn't be more prouder. And my boys took 4th overall in the state, and it just shows that the program is just advancing, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'm actually coming that way. Here. All over. That's right. So Lincoln coaches up top.
Wait till the end of the spring season, we'll be back. Won't we?
Dr. Franklin, congratulations. And all you athletes, I mean, you're in sports that it just doesn't happen immediately. You need to practice year-round for those sports, and we are extremely proud of the effort you guys put in. I know family probably plays a big role in that, but it's winning all those state championships. Glenvar is really a force to be reckoned with in 2A. There's no question about it. So we're very proud of you guys.
Did we beat you in baseball the other day?
You know,
I just wanted to point that out here.
So-
Not varsity.
Why do we got to bring that up?
You know, you asked me if I wanna
Congratulations.
I do want to make a comment. I told David I'd let him, but I just want to say I'm so impressed when I see athletes that are students and student athletes. It takes an enormous amount of commitment and time. It's just not about talent. It's about hard work. It's about grit and determination. And you guys exemplify all of that. So I commend you. So thank you.
Great job.
All right. Took care of 502, 503, and 504 there, correct? Okay. Next, item 5.05, recognition of BCAT Hot Rodders of Tomorrow Engine Challenge 2021 National Champions, Mr. Kish and Mr. Overfelt. I will give them a moment here, too. They're swimming upstream. Don't forget that voting block. Welcome, Mr. Kish.
Welcome. If you guys want to come up and just stand behind me and kind of line up, that'd be great. All the engine team.
We need a bigger.
Yeah. Sure, is everybody here? I think so. We got everybody. Chairman Linden, members of the school board, Dr. Nicely, thank you for having us here tonight. I'm here to introduce Mr. Chris Overfelt and the Burton Center for Arts and Technology E3 Spark Plugs engine team. These were the winners of the 2021 Hot Rodders of Tomorrow Engine Team Challenge. Tonight, members of the school board that are present, Dr. Nicely, Mr. Sir, and Mr. Jones, and myself, we're going to have the honor of presenting their national championship rings to them. When they first started down this road in the fall, we weren't even sure that there was going to be a competition. And once we knew it was on, it was then an endeavor to ensure that everything was done as safely as possible. Mr. Overfelt did everything in his power to make sure his students were maximally prepared for the national competition, despite not having any opportunities to compete prior to it. And now that I've seen it in person, I can attest to the amount of hours coaching, preparation, and planning that goes into getting to this event. It is astounding. Going in, there was a sense that this group of young men could put together some quality runs, but the odds were a bit stacked against them. You see, other teams in the country, around the country, had been practicing throughout the pandemic, and we got off to a bit of a late start compared to those teams. But what a week it was for these students and their coach. The performance racing industry show that this national competition is a part of allows our students to make connections with numerous professions related to the racing industry. So while this team was a little more limited in what they were able to do prior, nonetheless, they overcame all those obstacles and came out on top. The quickness, communication, collaboration, and coordination these young men displayed was evident whether you were there in person or whether you watched on our live broadcast. From my perspective, what I enjoyed was the camaraderie that they all got to enjoy. That was my favorite aspect of the trip. From their long drive to Indianapolis in the big vehicle, to enjoying amazing meals together, to competing in their runs, and getting to meet some famous folks in the industry, these gentlemen grew stronger as a team throughout the week. They represented themselves, Burton, and Roanoke County schools as exemplars of the best of what we offer. And as a result of their labor, all the participants on the engine team earned a $10,000 scholarship. Before we present the rings, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Overfelt, our motorsports and welding teacher, a Golden Apple Award winner, a Red Apple Award winner, and now four-time Engine Team Challenge national champion.
First off, I'd just like to say thank y'all for actually letting us go. It could have been
turned the other way. So there was a lot of school divisions that didn't even actually get to go. A lot of the California schools didn't get to go. Just like Mr. Kish said, my guys started practicing in August. For the first time ever, 3 of them are actually freshmen. So you take 3 freshmen that I didn't know them prior to August other than I knew Landon Leonard because I knew his family. So, when the kids come in, you know absolutely nothing about them. And when you try to tell them, hey, we're going to do this engine thing and you got to raise $1,000 to go. And by the way, it's in December. So, and while you're practicing, wear a mask. And when you practice outside of school or whatever we're doing, wear a mask. And we come out pretty good. So they did win $10,000, and it's $10,000 towards 3 different schools. So they get to pick what schools they want to go to as far as out of those 3. The kids that I had this year, they're a little different than what I've ever had before because I've always had kids that have been there. 2 of the members were actually on my 19 team, and actually one of them he went as an alternate in 19. And we had 2 kids that actually didn't come back that could have come back because of the pandemic and not knowing if we could actually compete. So I told them going into this, all the practice that you may do, we may get to December 1st and we may not be able to go. So I'm very proud of them. I'm proud to be part of this school system and proud of the job that they've done. I will let you know that after this year, I've already told my team for this coming year, this will be the last year that I actually do this. So I'll finish off the kids that I made a promise to for this year to start. And after that, this will be it. So, but I appreciate y'all's support, having us here and honoring the kids. So thank you.
All right. So I think the best way to do this, Mr. Sir and Mr. Jones, if you could maybe step up that way. I've assigned each of you a student that's going to come up and get the ring. So when I say their name, if you're assigned to that student, if you just raise your hand so they know where to go. Sound good? All right, cool. All right, as principal at Burton Center for Arts and Technology, it gives me great pride to introduce this team, the 2021 Hot Rodders of Tomorrow Engine Team Challenge National Champions. Mr. Chris Overfelt. Mr. Nathaniel Simones. Mr. Jackson Lenderking. Mr. Landon Wheeler. Mr. Gavin Overstreet. Mr. Landon Leonard. Mr. Nathan Rowland. And finally, Mr. Jacob Bell.
Yes. All right. All board members, you up to the top team on the lower level. Hold on. Wait a minute.
All the other coaches have signed, so he gets nothing.
Right over here. Now, guys, I want you all, one other thing, take your rings and hold them straight out. Board members, you guys can all release.
Mike, you want to say anything?
Yeah, that's fine.
Great job, guys.
Say anything? Before you guys leave, we may have a few comments. Mr. Ray?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've had the pleasure of seeing you here many times, Mr. Overfelt, wherever you are with your many rings. And you certainly inspire these young men, and they go on to careers that are well-paying careers. And starting out with scholarships means a lot going to technical schools. So very proud of you. We very much know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication when you come in. Those bolts just don't fit in there real quick, do they? When you want to put them together, it seems like they don't fit. They're too big. But y'all have been the Super Bowl of champions. Look at the ring. The ring are Super Bowl size. So y'all are really super champions. So thank you.
Johnson?
Yeah, congratulations, guys. I'm a drag racer, hot rodder myself, so I love what you're doing. And I grew up in the industry, just always at NHRA races, NASCAR races, and the industry's huge, and the jobs are out there for these guys. Great jobs that people only dream of having. And what Mr. Overstreet has done for these young men is really paved a path. That's something I would have dreamed to do and didn't have the opportunity that you guys have had with Burton, and it's awesome. And to reiterate what the lady said out there, Mr. Overfelt puts a lot of time and a lot of effort into this. Did you say 4 national championships, Mr. Overfelt? 4 national championships, not state championships, national championships. And the level that this impacts our students' education, looking to getting you a stipend. Thank you, sir.
It's Fashani.
Yeah, I want to just ask a question because I'm not a hot rodder. But somebody told me about the shirt, the back of the shirt. I was looking at it and it's something that I should. Yeah. I put you on the spot, didn't I? Nobody? Come on. It's just a spark plug, that's all it is. So I wouldn't even know. But I just, go ahead, Mr. Overfelt.
Each team at nationals and even at regionals, when you qualify, a company that actually buys into the Hot Rodders program actually is a sponsor. So it could range anywhere. Like that's why every year we're a different sponsor. So just so happens that usually when you do real well, those companies send you stuff. So we just got a donation of 90 spark plugs at $5 per spark plug is what we would have to pay for them for practice. So it does help when you win, more than the scholarships and stuff like that. So, but it does allow them to see and meet different company individuals, which is just like Mr. Hudson said, it's pretty cool for the kids.
Powerful thing. Well, Brett and I toured with Jason and Mr. Kish, and I had the opportunity to meet you. The students, unfortunately, were not there for whatever. We had that snow day, I think. But I was impressed. And there weren't even any students in the building. So I was impressed with you and everything you've done. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. You're paving the path for some fine young men to go on and earn a lot of money and a great career. So thank you.
I graduated from Burton, so that's why it means so much to me.
It means a lot to me, too. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of you guys. It's such a tremendous accomplishment, and we're so proud of the way you guys represent not only Burton, but the Roanoke County schools that you attend as well. And just it's so enjoyable to see you guys back year after year winning that national championship. We honor a lot of state champions. We don't get to honor a lot of national champions, but you guys seem to be very consistent in that, and we hope to have you back again next year. So thanks for coming out.
Thank you. That was so cute, that little girl.
Mm-hmm. All right, item number 6, report by Student Advisory Council. Representative is a little under the weather tonight, and she did not have a report for us. So we'll move on to item number 7, hearing of citizens and delegations. And we have a couple speakers, the first of which, Lisa Downey. Welcome.
Well, I just want to say that I love the spotlights and all the awesome students. I mean, it's really nice to see. So I don't really want to speak tonight, but I've heard a lot from a lot of other teachers about action item 9.02, of course. I know you guys, it's the pay plan. I know you guys work really hard to see all this through, and I think that the work session number 3, where we had options 1, 2, and 3, which is 8, 10, and 11.5, and now today it's 3 with a 1.5 step increase, which is 4.5. I think for a lot of teachers, I think it was a gut punch because I think we're really excited and hopeful. And I think maybe just, I'm sure you're going to do this, but elaborate a little bit more for everyone else because I think that some teachers I've heard don't quite understand. And so, and I know you guys are working really hard. It's not a criticism. I know that you did hear mention of doing perhaps another compensation study for 75 to 80K. I would beg of you not to use money for that. I think it's obvious, about pay and stuff like that. We really want to keep experienced teachers, and I know I do as a parent and as a fellow teacher. I did a comparison of all the neighboring districts that I hear all my colleagues going to. And, we start off pretty okay, but I'm 17 years with a master's degree and we are dead last. We're the lowest. If I went to any other district, I could make up to $586 a paycheck more. A paycheck. That's 24 paychecks. If you top out, we are dead last. And that does come with a penalty for retirement because we're dead last. So if I were to top out at Roanoke County, I would make $2,625 a month. But if I went to any other district, I can make anywhere from $385 a month more. If I go to the city next year, it would be $530 more a paycheck. So this is talking about people's livelihoods, and that's what I know you guys are working hard, but I just wanted to point that out just in general, because it does make a big difference, and I would hate to see my coworkers leave. And I understand why, I get it, and I hate to see experienced teachers for my own child leave because of money. So what I'm asking is because inflation, we all know, is 7.9%, according to the labor and statistics, and, all those kind of things, and it's probably gonna go up more. So if we're getting 4.5% and inflation's already up at 7.9%, we're gonna get poorer, which isn't cool. We're gonna have to make decisions on, do I get, how much groceries I'm gonna get? Not everyone married well. Some people have their 2 working households, and I just don't wanna see people leave. So if there's other things we can do to brainstorm, I know you guys have lots of connections with school board, you guys are school board, board of supervisors, legislative, and governors. I've seen pictures. So if you could somehow reach out to them. Oh, my time is up. Anyway, I was just thinking we could brainstorm other ways to make it more desirable to be here in Roanoke County. I have some suggestions from staff, but anyway, I appreciate what you guys do. I know it's not easy, so thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Downey. And our next speaker, Michelle Brooks.
Hi again.
Welcome back.
I feel like I live here. I don't really. I'm also going to talk about pay. I had a friend who, she and I taught in the city together. She brought me to the county. She and I worked together. And she was talking today. She said, I cannot afford to keep working in Roanoke County. It's towards my retirement. It's towards everything. And, she's like, I'm this close to going back to the city, and it would be a detrimental loss. I don't have anything. I wasn't even going to come speak today, but some people came and talked to me, and they knew I have a big mouth. So I know you're frustrated with the legislature because I'm frustrated too. Your hands are tied because they can't get their act together. And I know Governor Youngkin has pulled them back on the 4th, but it is really, really difficult when our livelihoods are being held up by somebody else. And your hands are tied just as well, and we understand that and we know that. So I want you to know that we get that. But I think that there's going to be a mass exodus of teachers because just in case you are not aware of that, unless the law changed and it could have, but even if we sign a contract, we can go to a district by July 1, another district. And because I know several people who have done that before. So, and unless that law has changed, and it could have. But it's frustrating. It's disheartening. I feel defeated with the pay. It's over $10,000 difference for me to go back to the city. I live in the city. I could possibly go back, but I'm happy where I am. I have a great administrator. The families are amazing. The staff is amazing. So I just want you to know that I'm afraid there's going to be a mass exodus. And I know that you guys are frustrated. I'm frustrated. Everybody's frustrated. So I just kind of want to let you know where we stand. So that's pretty much all I have to say. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. All right, item number 8, consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of consent agenda.
Second.
Madam Clerk, the roll, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. All right, item number 9, action items, 9.01, 2022-23 budget approval, on the student fees schedule. Ms. Peterson. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm not used to bringing notebooks up here, so bear with me as I flip to the right page. The first item before you is the student fee schedule. Per regulations, each year we do bring this to you for approval as required by the Virginia Code. Many of the fees do feed into the budget, and so we do like to make this part of the budgeting process. There are 2 changes included in this fee schedule. The first is the Khajiit Smart Spots. When we originally got the Khajiit Smart Spots, we were requested to charge anyone who did not qualify for free and reduced, and so we did so at cost. Now that that contract ends at the end of this school year, Mr. Terry received the ECF grant earlier this year, which will extend our service for 1 year. So from July 1 of 2022 through June 30th of 2023. Since this is fully funded through the grant, we will not be able to charge for these hotspots, so they will be free starting July 1st. The second change are the breakfast and lunch meal prices. These have not been changed since 2017, and the federal government, it looks like right now they're going to return back to the normal feeding program, the normal lunch program and breakfast program that was pre-pandemic, and so we will return back to normal operations next year. We do have a slight increase in here. They have not published any of the calculator tools that we do have to use to ensure we are raising the meal prices the appropriate level, because we are required to raise it equal to the reimbursements that we receive from the federal government. So if that does change higher than what these rates are, we may have to bring the plan back for your approval again. So those are the big 2 items on the list. We have a couple of fees that we are still looking into, and when we bring a revised budget to you, we may bring those as well. That's all I have.
Lunch is still free in summer school?
That is under discussion right now. We were originally told that it would be free through June 30th. Our nutrition team was on a webinar last week where VDOE asked them to stop the practice as of the end of class, So it would be May 30th for us. However, today, literally hot off the presses, they're thinking that waiver will go through June 30th. So at least our first summer schools would be free. But we're still in kind of a holding pattern, and it's holding us up from planning at this point.
Okay. So do we need a motion to approve? Any questions on the fee schedule? Motion to approve item number 9.01.
Second.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. 9.02.
All right, so the next,
Go ahead. I don't need to read that.
sorry, I just get rolling because this day is always a long day with so many items. So the next item on your agenda is the pay plan. I bring this to you on behalf of Mr. Bradshaw, since HR is the one who puts this together, but it's just easier for me to roll along through this process. The pay plan before you does include shifting the scales by, I'm going to get it exactly right, 3.5% for teachers and 3% for non-teachers. It includes providing all employees a one-step. So for teachers, that would be 1.5%, and non-teachers, it would be 2%. So in all cases, they would get a 5% if they're on the scale. Anyone who is at the top of the scale or off of the scale, we're recommending getting only the scale shift. So that would be just the 3.5% or the 3% at this time. In addition, the scale includes some new positions, an ELL teacher, a Navy Cadet Corps position, and the implementation of the Region 5 adult ed program. This has been run through Salem for the last however long, and they're getting ready to change their fiscal agents from Salem over to Roanoke City, and would like for us to go ahead and set up our region like everyone else is, and actually hire our own people. And so the pay plan will include adding these positions: 15 instructors, a coordinator, and an IA. These will be fully funded through the regional program proceeds, so this will not be an out-of-pocket cost for operations. Academic stipends, we have an increase in the special ed coordinator from $950 to $2,500, and an RBT licensure with a new one for $1,000. These will be paid for from the special ed grant. Then we also have other changes to the academic supplements. The building manager substitute will go from $13 an hour to $14 an hour. Building operator from $11 to $12 an hour. Driver substitutes from $16.50 to $17.50. And bus aides from $11 to $12. In the nutrition team, the nutrition substitute will go from $15 to $16. The nutrition associate will go from $11 to $12. The summer hours will follow for the nutrition, $15 to $16 for the manager and $11 to $12 for the associate. The driving force behind all of these was the fact that we are expecting the minimum wage to increase January 1st of 2023, which would take it to $12. And so we wanted to get our supplements in accordance with that at the beginning of the year. And so we had to adjust the relatable positions at the same time. We have added the Regional 5 pay rates for the adult ed part-time instructor, coordinator, and IA. And then we have added the athletic stipends, increasing the athletic trainer from $10,000 to $2,280, and adding the unified team stipend of only $900, which again will be, that last one will be paid out of the grant. So those are the changes, and you have the full pay plan on board docs. So if you have any questions, I can defer to Mr. Bradshaw.
I've got one question. You may be able to answer it. So top of the scale, you're saying is only a 3.5%?
Well, that will be the scale shift, and so that's what we would give to anyone who is not on the scale.
So a teacher with 30 years experience would only get a 3.5% raise?
Yes, sir.
I don't like that at all. I find it preposterous, honestly. I mean, there's loyalty to the business. 30 years of, giving us everything they have, and we give them 3.5 versus 5. I don't like it.
not all of those teachers have been with us. That's 30 years if they came to us from somewhere else, correct?
It could be.
Could have.
But they bring that experience with them. And that says a lot. And we know that people no longer retire at 52 years old anymore or 53 years old. I mean, 30 years right out of college, they still could work another 5, 10 years. And every year we're giving them less of a raise than what we're giving everybody else, and it's just not fair. I just can't see logic in it. And I know it's not your fault. I'm not yelling at you about it. I'm just airing my grievances out in public, that I just find it to be ridiculous.
And I would like to add that this pay plan supports the budget that will be presented to you tonight. However, as we make any changes to the budget, if we make changes to pay, we will again bring a change in the pay plan.
One other question. Non-teacher raise, is it going to be 5% as well, or is it less? You confused me with what you were.
The scale shift, the differential in the steps for non-teachers is 2%. And so the scale shift will be 3% to get them to the 5%.
Okay, so they will be getting a 5%.
At the top of the scale, it will be 3%.
The rest are getting 5.
Correct.
And you say this budget is based on the House budget, correct?
That is correct.
So that was the lowest.
It was.
Any other questions?
What do you expect April 4th when they meet?
I hope a lot of money.
Right. So,
but I don't know.
The door isn't closed. We know that. Let's see what happens. Cross our fingers.
Do you know a number of employees that we have that have 30 years?
Not off the top of my head, but I can go back to one of the work. Let's see. $41. So I guess I do.
Do you have any idea how much it would be to give those folks the 1.5 to bring them to 5 with everyone else?
I don't have that number in front of me, but I can get it for you.
Okay. Any other questions? I'd like to make a motion to approve item number 9.02.
Second?
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. 9.03, health, dental, and vision insurance benefits.
All right, I went over all of these plans in our work sessions and nothing has changed, and so I will not bore you with details. I will reiterate that the health insurance and dental insurance rates, has been recommended and is included in our priority list to offer them to the nutrition associates who are part-time, since they were taken away from that group many years ago.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 9.03.
I second.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. 9.04, budget approval.
So now the fun starts.
All right.
So you should have a hole punch document in front of you. I'm sorry, it was really literally hot off the presses. I think I handed it to Ms. Purdue and she said, oh, it's still warm. This budget is based off of the House of Delegates version. On page 3, you will see a summary of each of the funds individually and the change from last year's budget. You will also see on the right-hand side, so after our process is done, then we will present this to the Board of Supervisors, and they will adopt 2 ordinances for our budget, an operating ordinance and a capital ordinance. And so this just lays out how they adopt it. When they adopt our capital ordinance, they typically name our big projects. So that's the summary. And then if you go on to page 4 and 5, these are our priority lists. And I wish I could profess that there were no changes on here. However, I do have a change. The state revenue that I presented on March 15th in the amount of $5,601,181 was understated. The actual amount that was in the House version was $8,009,298. So this provided 2.4 million additional funds for us to use. I apologize for this oversight. I had a formula error, but I did go back and find it. It luckily was the type of error that would never overstate revenue, just understate it. So I do apologize for that error. We did go ahead and backfill the fleet replacement plan and the CMP temporarily, and we added a line at the bottom to be determined at a later date, because we knew we would come back and we didn't want to make any assumptions to what was presented on the 15th. So outside of those couple of items, which are easily changeable, the presentation is the same as the 15th. So I do apologize for that error. I almost swallowed my tongue. So that is pages 4 and 5. Then on pages 6 and 7, you have the department request list, which was not funded, but something that each of the departments provide to us is they're taking a look at their budgets. And then I am not going to bore you by going through the rest of the 30 pages of this document, but the rest of the pages of this document do implement the priorities as shown earlier on, and has all of the funds and the details for each of the funds. I will say that the textbook replacement or textbook adoption plan, the fleet replacement plan, the CIP, and the technology replacement plan have all been tweaked a little bit since the transfers have changed. So we went back and made sure that those agreed to what the budget would be. And again, if we change those transfers when we return after the General Assembly, then I'll have to change those schedules as well. So if you have any specific questions, I can go into more details, but I don't want to sit here and read all these numbers.
Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Ray.
Thank you. When you put that money back into technology and fleet replacement, were we, am I right in, we were taking the money out of there before and we were going to have to make it up eventually?
So if you recall back, the 21 budget, after the COVID hit, we had literally adopted a budget. The COVID hit, and then we took a hard look at the economy and everything tanked. So I brought forth a severely cut budget. Many of those cuts were these transfers. And so we're trying to get the CMP and the fleet replacement back built into the operating budget, because we have not been able to do that yet.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Any other information you want to share with us?
Let's see. So we would typically take this over to the I will hand it to the Board of Supervisors before April 1st to meet our obligatory requirements. Typically, we will present, Mr. Chairman, you would accompany with Dr. Nicely, myself, we would go over and present the budget to the Board of Supervisors. Knowing that Governor Youngkin has requested the special session begin on the 4th, I'm thinking we may want to hold off until we have a final budget before we go over there and meet with them. So I'm just hoping we get more money.
Make a motion to change
that. We have to have it to them before the 1st, right?
We do.
Mm-hmm. So you're presenting the one we have and then
Yes, I'll present.
revise it after the
Correct.
session.
If you approve it today.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 9.04.
Second?
Madam Clerk?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your work putting that together. I know it's
Thank you,
a
Susan.
lot of last minute numbers, a lot of crunching, and it is not easy. As our two teachers mentioned, it's not easy when our hands are tied still. So hopefully, I'm glad that $2.4 million fine was in our favor. So
Me too.
The other
Hopefully
side
we
wouldn't
can
have been so
find
good.
I
some
might
more.
not have come back if it weren't.
We all
Thank
know
you
you
very
work hard
much.
and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, we did.
My aggravation was not geared towards you, I promise.
If I could give everyone a 20% raise, I'd do it today. I just can't fund it.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Peterson.
Thank you.
Information agenda, item number 10.01, Roanoke County Public Schools Perkins 5 Plan. Mr. Sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Nicely. Every year we come to the board with a Perkins Plan, and actually it's known as the Perkins Plan. It's the Strengthening Career and Technical Education for the 21st Century Act. We prefer to say Perkins 5. Perkins funds augment local effort in supplying high-level CTE programs at the local level. A major use of the federal monies is for equipment such as computers, for technical education classes, and for the Center for Mass Communications and/or heavy equipment in trade and industry classes. The RCPS Perkins Plan is locally developed using constraints outlined by federal legislation and is first reviewed and approved by the Roanoke County Public Schools CTE General Advisory Committee, of which Mr. Ray is a member, and Mr. Gordy Ziegler of SciComm Technologies is chairman. The Perkins Plan was approved yesterday by the CTE General Advisory Committee, and we had a good meeting. The next step in the process is to request approval from the school board. Since the local plan and budget is a lengthy Excel document, it's on board docs, a school board summary is also provided, so it provides easy reference to the Excel file. There's multiple tabs at the bottom. Appreciate your consideration of this information, and at this time I can entertain any questions about the Perkins Plan that you might have. It's on an information basis, so we'll wait till hopefully next board meeting to finalize it.
Any significant changes from last year?
Nothing major, no. We are adding a little bit of money to do some certification testing. We do receive state monies for that in a couple different pots on an annual basis. We look this year, I think we're going to exceed that amount, so next year we can write that into Perkins to help augment what we get from the state.
Any questions? Mr. Ray?
Questions, but some comments about our meeting, and I'd like you to expound on those a little bit. I know that Perkins Plan, but we are striving for 28% of non-traditional students in a field. I think you said we were at 17.1%. Can you explain that for the rest of the folks?
Sure. So in the grand scheme of things, there's benchmarks, and we use the annual performance report that we receive as a school division. Every school division receives that at around this time of year. And one of the categories is non-traditional placement in classes, specific classes that are outlined by the Virginia Department of Education. And what we need to strive for is having students at a certain percentage, the benchmark's 28%, at that level or better. And that is one category that we need to work on. So part of the money that we use for Perkins is focused on rectifying that and helping us usher more students into those non-traditional fields. That would be an example of that would be, say, a female student in automotive service technology or a male student in cosmetology. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, and to continue?
Yes, sir.
I know that you'll bring this up more than once, but our signing day is May the 20th at the Red Sox Stadium. Do you want to elaborate a little?
Oh, I'd love to.
We're very proud of that.
Yes, so with the regional consortium, now we are working with Salem City Schools and Roanoke City Schools to put on a signing day event for our apprentices that get hired, that are being hired and actually currently being interviewed and evaluated for hiring. At that event at the Red Sox Stadium on May 20th, we'll have those students there and recognized on the big board out in the outfield, and the companies that are sponsoring them alongside, and it'll be a great event. Last year we had a real good time and recognized a great number of students, and their parents are able to be with them. It's just a great atmosphere, and this year we're excited to partner again with the Salem Roanoke County Chamber of Commerce to put this event on. So, yeah, come out if you can, reserve that date, May 20th. And
many-
I don't have specific times yet, so we'll get those out.
How many apprenticeships will be?
That's still up in the air. The sponsor companies are still choosing, and we should know that by the end of April. We try to get all that finalized so that school counselors have a chance to work with school schedules for next year and maximize the amount of time our students have to work at their sponsor companies.
And we have new companies signing on all the time.
We do. We just had Serve Pro sign on, I think, within this past week. They acted real quick, and we're in talks with others. So very appreciative of Martha Hooker's work with us as a work-based learning coordinator, and she's doing a great job helping with that too. So
Yeah, and I'll ask one more thing, but I guess I just want to compliment you and your staff. It's just a great process that you have, that you go through. And I know that we have to turn kids away. I know that you had, 900 interested, and you have to do interviews. And, we hope to expand that with a new BCAT center, and we were able to fulfill 700 of those. Is that correct?
well, we take as many as we can.
Take as many as we can, whatever we can fit in the building, which we're certainly looking to we rectify that. But certainly, y'all do a great job out there preparing these students, for the workforce.
Thank you.
And very compliment to all your staff. So.
Thanks. Yeah, Mr. Jones is in the back. He's a great help too. So
Absolutely.
we've got a great staff.
Christian and Mr. Jones, certainly. Thank
Fantastic.
you, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sure thing.
Any other questions? All right. Item number 10.02, world language adoption. Mr. Brian Weeks, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, members of the board, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Nicely. Just wanted to give you a quick rundown here on the Latin adoption. A few months ago, our world languages supervisor, Cammie Williams, went through and pulled her committee together. They went through and did some reviews, and ultimately they chose for their adoption recommendation Hands Up Education. Subarani is the program name. And so we are going to plan on, making a purchase when the new school year rolls around with the new budget funds for the Latin program. Does anybody have any questions about that? It's pretty basic stuff.
I won't be biased, but my brother taught Latin for 40 years, so I'd certainly, and I had a couple years of it too, so I'm glad it's still not a dead language, I guess.
I took Latin too, but I can't say I remember a lot of it.
It helped you with your English, right?
Somewhat, I guess.
How has our Latin enrollment been?
I believe it's on the increase. I couldn't tell you exact numbers, but I think French is maybe, I couldn't say, but I feel like French may be at the lowest level of the main languages that we teach, including Latin. But,
All right. Very good.
Yes,
And then 10.03, world language, science, and math materials surplus request.
Exactly. We are always, moving forward with new materials, and some materials are just no longer needed in our school district. And we have some French and Spanish materials that are no longer needed, as well as middle school math. And then the science listed is going to be replaced also at the beginning of the new school year with new biology and earth science. So the plan is to just go ahead and get it declared as surplus so that it's out of the way, and when the time comes, we can let it go. So if you have any questions about that.
Questions? Just for the public's information, do we donate those? Are we able to donate those, or do we have to sell them?
I don't know what the regulations are as far as if the school board decides to donate them, but we normally just auction them off on the public surplus website.
All right, I need Chuck. Okay, it stopped. Sorry, Chuck.
So yeah, we normally just auction the materials off.
Thank you.
Sure, mine, don't feel bad. Mine's doing some kind of update.
Just started talking. Didn't do anything, I
Now
promise.
now I'm signed out.
Afraid to open
Item number 11, report by superintendent, Dr. Nicely.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to say congratulations again to all of our students who were present this evening. It's so exciting to see, and it just reminds us when we see, especially to the young ones and the high schoolers as well, just why we do what we do, and not all of the decisions are easy, and we go through lots of things, but seeing the students and hearing about the great things that are happening in our schools just remind us of why we do that. So just want to congratulate them. Did get to go by the Titan 21 exhibition nights on Tuesday. Ms. Fachani was also there. She'll probably speak to that. But again, just seeing what our students are doing. One of my highlights was just watching the marketing students who not only are learning the skills of marketing class, but then the adults come by, they make their pitch, and they're able to develop those communication skills and articulate exactly what they're doing. And I know they're competing on state and international levels as well. So it's really exciting to see. So got to spend part of the day this morning up at the Virginia Middle School Association annual conference, and just proud of our, we had at least 2 schools up there. Teachers are doing presentations at that event, and just proud of their involvement there. Next week is spring break for our schools. So hope all of our students and teachers and staff members and everybody enjoy a well-deserved break, and then ready to come back and finish off the school year in a strong way. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Nicely. All right, item number 12, reports and inquiries of board members. We'll start with Ms. Fashani this evening.
Well, as Dr. Nicely mentioned, I did have an opportunity to go to the Titan 21 event. I want to thank all the students for their rigorous dedication to their projects. I mean, I can't tell you, the projects were amazing. It was really impressive. We weren't able to have it past couple years, and to see all those, what do they call them? What are those boards? Well, not whiteboards, but interactive boards in the middle of the hallways. It was like this technology Lollapalooza. It was amazing. The students were excited, the teachers were excited, and I think what's really impressive is people are there supporting, volunteering these students, and a lot of our faculty are there, administration is there, and it takes a lot to get that event going. And I don't think people really truly understand what it takes to put on an event like that, and I think Mr. Whitlow and his team did a fantastic job. I did have an opportunity to go out to Oak Grove Elementary, and visited with Dr. Clematis, and I visited the science fair, and that was great. I saw Ms. Atkins and some of my teachers out there, and it was exciting. It was in the cafeteria. The kids were thrilled to be presenting their projects. Everything was fantastic. There was Lego demonstrations. There were potatoes with cords coming out of them. And I love the most about it was seeing the students excited and having them learn and not even knowing that they're learning, which I thought was really special. I want to thank the entire Oak Grove Elementary team for coming out today and doing the spotlight. Dr. Nicely, I continue to enjoy every single one of those presentations. And it really is a wonderful opportunity for everybody to learn about what's going on in our schools. This really has, I feel like, created a larger sense of community. And kind of after living in the dark for the past couple of years, I feel like spring has sprung, kids are excited, and there's this great forward momentum of excitement about what's happening in Roanoke County Public Schools. And I am so proud and honored of every single student that showed up here today, especially, I will say, the 53 state champions out of 4 kids. I mean, that's remarkable. I don't think I have too much else. I'm just really impressed. I have a real great feeling about Roanoke County Public Schools and where we're headed. I know the budget is tough. I would like to see us be able to give our teachers and our staff as much money as possible. Unfortunately, money doesn't grow on trees right now, and we have to continue to wait and see what happens. And we'll just keep forging forward and hope that we can make everything happen when the time comes. So thank you all. Thank you for your dedication and your hard work.
Thank you. Mr. Ray.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I talked to Mrs. Haley Deeds, principal at Cave Spring this week, and the Cave Spring prom went off without a hitch, if I should say, and everything. I think everyone enjoyed it, and the after prom as well. And then I had the chance to, of course, my grandson is in this week and 3 years old, and he was staying with us this week while his mom and dad went on a cruise. So, we didn't get to go, but anyway, but we had so much fun, and we were down at the Center in the Square at the Kids Corner, and it is Kids Square, and it is amazing what they have down there. But I got to talk to Jim Sears, who I've known for many years, and in fact have helped get some money from the Board of Supervisors side to help when he started it, and his assistants told us what a pleasure it was to have Roanoke County Schools coming and visiting with them and having their proms there. It's really shows the character and that they really were pleased. So kudos to that. Ms. Fasciani and I have been out to Back Creek and Clearbrook, and the trailers are in atrocious shape, and we're certainly going to look to try to get some kind of replacement, from holes in it to
Animals coming
up through the floor, different types, and you can't even use heating and air because it's a fire hazard, and there's all kinds of things that are going on. But we'll continue that process of trying to work with Chris Lowe and some of them on getting some prices and what we can do for that. So enjoy the spring break, everybody. I know it's well-deserved. I hear the teachers back there, and as my grandson would say, woo-hoo. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Mr. Hudson.
I'd like to reiterate a thank you to Dr. Clemitis. I've known Dr. Clemitis for probably about 11 years now. She was at Fort Lewis when I was an SRO on the Glenver side of town, and she's a great administrator and does a great job out there at Oak Grove. And I will tell you that I sneak out there from time to time and say hi to her. I don't want to walk on you guys' territory, but she's a great lady, and always the climate at the school is just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Glenver State champions, what can we say? Go Highlanders. 53, is that what you said, 53? Mm-hmm. State champions amongst those girls, and I hope they keep them coming. So it's great. And while we're talking about that, 4-time national champion engine builders coming out of Burton. That just shows the importance of Burton and these young men and women that can go and leave Burton and really have an awesome opportunity to go out into a career and make great money right out of school. It's just awesome what Mr. Overfelt does, and saddened to hear that this is going to be his last year. I hope that us as a board can come together and figure out something to maybe keep him on board, maybe a stipend or something like that. And while we're on teacher pay scale, I'm very passionate about this 30-year thing. My belief is that the chart should shift. If we give a 5% pay raise, well, that 30-year max should shift 5%. You should never max your payout. Again, I've been in government work my entire life, so I know how it is, and I'm 9 years away from 30 years where I'm at. And I would hate to think that 9 years from now, I'm going to get stepped on and get less of a pay raise than somebody who's been here a year or two. I just find that, I don't even have a word for it that's nice, so I won't say it, but it's just ridiculous that we would treat somebody that has that kind of experience, bringing what they can bring to the table, and we're just letting them get by with a 3.5% pay raise. That's pennies when it's 7.9 year-over-year inflation. I don't agree with it at all. And my hope is with the extra money that we actually figured out we had, that maybe we will consider looking at bringing those 41 employees that are only going to get that 3.5 up to 5. That's only fair, and that's what I will be petitioning for. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. I too would like to commend the people from Oak Grove who came and spoke. What a great presentation. Both of my nieces went to Oak Grove Elementary School, and I know enjoyed it and have gone on to successful careers. They do a fantastic job over there. So the budget, I know 5% is not what we'd hoped for originally, and it's not over yet. We've got the General Assembly going back in a couple weeks, and hopefully we can increase that number. When we look at things, though, I mean, we need to consider the sustainability of that over the years. We also have almost $2.4 million in department requests that we weren't able to fulfill. And as Ms. Fashani said, it's not growing on trees, unfortunately. So I think hopefully when the numbers come back, we can do a little bit better than that. I think the 5% is pretty common for what we're seeing in the area, but we want to be better than what other people are in this surrounding area are doing. So hopefully we get some good numbers next month. Tough week over at Northside this week. I do want to assure the parents we've got great leadership over there. Jill Green is doing a fantastic job, and I have the utmost confidence in her and that leadership that is over at Northside. So just want to keep them in our thoughts, and also just wish everybody a happy spring break. Hopefully it's sunny and 70 all week. So thank you very much. With that, meeting adjourned.